Yeah, so so if you ever visit Uganda as a birder, Judith Mirembe is the person you want to ask to be your guide. She's also a chair of Uganda Women Birders. She's just waiting for the results of her masters. Her masters is in environment and natural resource management, and the topic of the MSc thesis of or the species that was dealt with is going to make all of us jealous in the extreme. Judith's MSc project was on, of all species, iconic species, probably the most iconic species in Africa, the shoebill on the shores of Lake Victoria. So Judith's talk is called Uganda Bird Atlas, The Journey. So thank you, Judith. Over to you.
So my name is Judith Mirembe. I'm a chairperson of the Uganda Women Birders. Currently doing a master's on the shoebill, distribution and abundance at Makerere University. I'm almost done. Hopefully, if I pass, I can publish some papers. You'll probably see some. I've worked with Nature Uganda, the BirdLife partner in Uganda, and until up to March 2019, and then I started guiding. Because of the pressure from the masters, I needed a little bit work that was a bit more relaxed. So I'm going to take you through the journey of the Bird Atlas project in Uganda. The first time I heard about the Bird Atlas was in 2016. There was a training that was done by African Eurasian Water Agreement, the IWA. I think Les knows about it. It was it in Senegal? And that's the first time that I got to learn about Birdless, which brings about the Bird Atlas project. But this has not yet been well developed in Uganda. Just to tell you a little bit about our bird watching, Uganda is very productive. We have 34 IBS, 10 national parks, and 12 wildlife reserves. The birding is very productive. You can have over 60 species in a 2-kilometer distance. And we have over 180 bird species. And these are due to the diverse habitats, so you can never get bored. We have guides, well-trained bird guides. There are over 120. These are both site and site freelance and national guides. So Uganda is in East Africa. I am sorry I forgot about the map, but it's within East Africa to the west of Kenya and the east of Democratic Republic of Congo, way above South Africa. So currently, the number of bird apps that are in Uganda and are under use, the largest one is eBird. Everybody does eBird. There is Birdlesser. Birdlesser is still known to a few birders. And then for organizations, they use the International Common Bird Monitoring Database. For example, Nature Uganda. While at Nature Uganda, I worked as a coordinator for the Common Bird Monitoring Program and the waterfall counts. And by then, we used the ICBM, whereas others will use the AVI-base, submit their results to IOC, and again, some lists say on hard paper, like you see in the picture, you write them, put them in a file and stack them somewhere in a library or wherever. So moving forward, when I talked to Les at It was a TBA training, Tropical Biology Association in Kenya. I thought, looking at the experience of Kenya, Nigeria, plus Clara's experience in, is it Liberia? Yes, it looked interesting. I loved the idea of the bird atlas, and I thought it was something that would work for us here in Uganda. While there is eBird, the guides have sentiments like if we do eBird, there will be an increase of self-guided clients. So I thought if something had a Uganda to eat, people would easily relate and easily take it up. So why the bird atlas? I'm looking at it as something that will create awareness. People will know more about the birds. We'll have a well-established database which has information on species available. Most times getting data on Ugandan birds, the migration patterns, the times of the year when a bird can be seen is quite hard because our data is scattered all over. It's very participatory and involving. We'll have more birders coming up. Since this is something easy, people can play around with their smartphones. We publish reports, articles, and update our bird books, as well as the lists. The book in the picture is the Bird Atlas of Uganda that was produced in 2005. It was produced based on results from the Common Bird Monitoring, waterfall counts, as well as results of the National Biodiversity Data Bank, which is hosted by Makerere University. But this book is it's quite large, and looking at those, looking at what led to the production of this book, those results cannot easily be accessible to the public. So if we get the bird atlas and we can easily download this data, compute, do analysis, and have these published, probably articles, weekly articles, newsletters, it will be easy to distribute them to the public or even online. So opportunities of this atlas, well, we have well-trained bird guides. These are both national and site guides. And all these are able to use smartphones, which would accommodate the app. We have a number of bird clubs, like the Uganda Bird Guides Club. Davis is the chair. He's part of the meeting. He'll probably answer some of the questions. We have the Uganda Women Birders Club, which is meant to introduce women, to initiate women into nature guiding, especially bird watching. We have the Young Birders Club, introducing the younger generation, kids into nature. And again, we have a number of volunteers, those that work with the NGOs that are based on bird conservation. This would also provide data. And we get a lot of bird watching clients that come to the country. Number of bird watching clients that come, and they spend averagely at least 10 and above number of days. And this would also be quite useful in providing data to put in the app. And then we have NGOs like Nature Uganda, the Bird Life Partner, WCS that are involved in conservation of birds, and government institutions like the Uganda Wildlife Authority. If we can convince these to join, this should be good cadres to provide data for the app. And I've had a lot of support from our neighbors in Kenya, Nature Kenya. I've talked to Kuria. Kuria is the TBA, Tropical Biology Association coordinator in Kenya. I have talked to Les, I've talked to Washington, and Ulf. I've forgotten the other name of Ulf. So the progress so far, we are discussing on who is going to host the Atlas project. there are a number of challenges. For some of you that have worked for NGOs, most of the projects are based on a fund, or the staff has to account for their time sheets, and so that's looking at Nature Uganda hosting this project. It became a bit, with the challenges that are there, it became a bit shaky. So I talked to the Bad Guides Club, the Uganda Bad Guides Club. I talked to Davis, who's the president, and he's ready to host the project. And again, we are looking at encouraging, started off by encouraging bad guides to use bad laser as we generate this data. I've told them about the advantages. And then I've also had a chance to train on analyzing citizen science data. I'm not yet good. I get some help from David. David is someone that analyzes for the Kenya Bad Map project. He's part of the team and he's promised to help me. He's currently working in Uganda, but because of COVID, he has been away in Kenya for a long time. The challenges and obstacles, those are quite many. We have inadequate capacity in data analysis, and most times the guides look at science as something boring, time-consuming, probably not paying well. It's on volunteer basis, and most times when someone does work, they expect payment. And then the other challenge is a host institution. Is the Atlas going to be hosted by Nature Uganda, the Bad Guides Club, or Makerere University? So we're still debating about that. And then there's commitment of the badders. Most of the badders in Uganda are the bad guides. We have very few passionate people that are doing badding just for fun. Most of the badders are bad guides who are doing it as a profession and as a passion as well. So that narrows down the numbers. So committing a bad guide, someone will tell you, I'm driving, I cannot start using the app, battery challenges, the clients will have queries. But those are things that we can work on along the way. And then the other challenge that I see is most of these apps are independent. Someone wants to do eBird, they want to do bad laser. Running them at the same time consumes battery. I know bad laser can share data with eBird, but I've personally been having challenges. But if you look at these other bad apps, the sharing data, if I can use this app and then easily export or import the data to the other app, that would be quite helpful. And finally is the negative attitude of the badders, mostly the bad guides. Everybody's afraid of losing their job. Someone says, if I put in a location of this rare bird species, maybe the clients will not need my help. They'll just drive to the place if they see the pin. And then again, you have others that think if I tell them where the shoebill is nesting or is found, someone is going to hunt it. Someone is going to kill it. Or so there are those fears, but those can also be addressed along the way. At least I've been told you either publish or you die with the data. So moving forward, I had a discussion with Kuria and Les, and he was telling me about applying for the grant to kickstart the project. Hopefully we can look out for opportunities. If anyone knows some opportunities available, please feel free to let Davis and I know. We're looking at a workshop to train and create awareness. Once this app is created, probably hold a dialogue, listen to people, listen to each other, and share ideas. And also we are looking at deciding on the host institution after analyzing the challenges that are based on both sides. And well, Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to learning from all of you. Davis would be in perfect position to address some of my questions. I am so sorry. I don't know if my presentation was too short or it's my first time to do this on Zoom. Otherwise,
I think
yes, I should be able to do better next time. Thank you so much.
no. Thank you. Thank you very much, Judith. I think your timing was perfect. It's just a pity that we lost you for a while. But as I was saying, I think when you were rushing around trying to find a power cable to reconnect your computer, if you can maybe just unshare your screen. But there we go. Yeah, thank you. I was just mentioning that it's been very impressive to see how these bird atlas projects have developed in countries in other parts of Africa, and the fact that you've had support from Kenya, I think, is really commendable. Well done for reaching out, and well done to the Kenyan colleagues for reaching out from themselves as well. I think that's really great. And I was just saying that there are probably a number of other people within this community who could also support the project in Uganda. But just to say well done for what you've done up till now, and I think that you have all of our support in terms of keeping going, and we really look forward to seeing how the project is hopefully going to go from strength to strength. Fantastic. I think that bird atlas projects are, as you say, a wonderful way to create awareness, and they're important foundational projects, citizen science projects, to draw people in and to really make a difference. So thanks very much for that. Are there questions for Judith? Questions or comments?
Can I just say something quickly on that?
Yes, please do.
So Judith mentioned one of her concerns was about the guides are concerned that if they atlas a bird, somebody is going to see the exact location, and then they won't need the guide's help, or they might go and hunt the bird or something. We had a similar concerns from some people in Kenya. Usually, like towards the beginning of the project, there were some people who had concerns like those. But basically, I think the best way to go about it is to explain to them exactly how it works, because BirdLesa will collect the GPS coordinates, but when you submit the data, it will enter the atlas at the pentad scale. So anyone who sees the data on the atlas won't see the exact coordinates, won't see the exact location of where you recorded the bird. So they can't actually know where it is, because a pentad is like 9 kilometers by 9 kilometers. So it would be, they'd have to do some real guesswork to try and pinpoint where it was. So it shouldn't really be a big concern that that if you atlas a bird, that someone is going to know where you are when you saw it, unless there's only like one tiny speck of habitat in that whole pentad where you can find that bird. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that those are valid comments. Thank you, Sydney. Any other comments or questions?
I think part of the of our experience in South Africa was that SABAP 2 was extremely hard to start and get going, and we kind of forget that, and so it's the first few percent of coverage which is the hardest to get, and then all of a sudden people somehow believe in the project and are motivated. So your most valuable atlases are the ones that help you to get the project started.
Yeah, so I think just be encouraged by those comments, Judith, and the rest of your team, Davis. I think it's so true. Having been involved in both of the Atlas projects down here in South Africa, it is hard graft in the beginning, but and I think from the Atlas projects that are taking place in Nigeria, in Kenya, I think those are probably similar experiences that people have had there as well. So don't lose heart. Keep going, making sure that there's a solid foundation on which you can build, and I'm sure that will happen. Any other